One of the most horrifying mine disasters to ever take place in Michigan occurred at the Barnes-Hacker Mine on November 3, 1926, at Ishpeming, Michigan in the Upper Peninsula. As I consider this horrific event, I wonder what the miners thought as they were faced with unavoidable, certain death. Let's consider the whole story. It was about 20 minutes after 7. The day shift was just checking into work. Many were from nearby towns. This day, as is so often the case when tragedy is at the door, began pretty much average. Overhead, the skies were unsettled with snow in the forecast, and the fall had been unusually wet. The Barnes-Hacker Mine produced iron ore, and the mine was owned by the Cleveland Cliffs Iron Company, who first explored the area in 1917, and it was a very swampy area, which was not a major concern. A concrete shaft lining along with underground dams were placed as safety precautions. The 50-plus workers on November 3, 1926 were primarily from Canada, some from the British Isles and also Scandinavia. Most were from Ishpeming and other company-operated towns. In these villages, the company provided both housing and social services for their employees, and as most Upper Peninsula mining companies did, they provided classes for learning English and operated a welfare department since 1905. To me, it sounds like a great company to have worked for. In fact, up until this day in November, the company had had only one fatality, which wasn't bad considering the inherent dangers of mining. To be on the safe end of things, there were both weekly and monthly safety inspections. Workers on this day were tasked with working on the first 3 levels and a few sub-levels as well. Men were busied with the operation of locomotives to remove ore from the shafts. Walter Tippett, who was the mine captain, as well as the county inspector of mines, William Hill, were inspecting the shafts this particular morning. A bit past 11, a group of miners, left the mine for lunchtime. It was then on the surface they heard a tremendous roaring sound from underground. In an effort to investigate the cause, attempts were made to contact the men in the pump houses underground, but there was no reply as the electricity had failed. The men made their way down the shaft to see what was happening, and what was happening was horrific. Mud, rock, water, and debris were pouring into the mine shaft from above. The water was quickly filling the mine shaft. One man was climbing a ladder to the surface, and he met 2 who were on their way down to investigate. There were mortally terrifying sounds of crashing far below them. By evening, pumps had arrived to pump water out of the mine, and with the water and debris level, only the bodies of 7 men, which included Walter Tippett, the mine captain, as well as the county inspector, were recovered. Tragically, 42 women were made widows that night, and 132 children were left without their fathers. In total, 40 to 65 men were believed to have drowned. A number of rescuers tried to reach the men through a tunnel from the east, but to save their own lives, had to turn back. They reported seeing bodies, but were unable to reach them. What had occurred was that a swamp bottom sank suddenly into the shaft and carried away the workers in a wall of mud and quicksand. The collapse left an indentation 65 feet deep over 60,000 square foot area of swampland and filled the shaft with over 600 feet of water. This is perhaps one of the most tragic mining episodes in Upper Peninsula, Michigan history. Thanks for joining me tonight. God bless. Each and every one of you is greatly appreciated here.